Hi honey, I'm home. Oh, I forgot, I'm not married. Oh, you're here. I've got something for you. Toilet roll. Sorry it took ages. There was a massive queue, but I got back as soon as I could. Go for it. But first, I want to tackle this week's challenge, which is about being a loner. I recognise that after I was laid off, I definitely feel like my solitude has been intensified quite a lot. I guess this week I want to tackle being lonely whilst being a loner. Let's have a bit of a download. Yeah. Where are my manners? If you're new here, let me introduce myself. I'm Fran. What am I? I'm just surviving. Surviving life after a layoff. I love being alone. My own space, my own time, I can do what I want. So in my last video I did a declutter, but found loads of photographs and cards and messages, and I've kept it in a memory box, but they're all from friends and family who cared enough to write me a note and to send a message, and I forgot all about it. Let me grab a few treasured moments in time. I got to remember that people care, and I got to remember that I care about them as well. Interestingly, I'm scared to kind of connect with friends because of me, and I'm scared that I've got nothing to say. I need to turn it around. I need to be there for my friends. I need to check in with them to see if they're okay. And you know what? I'm just going to message people now. I think that's what I want to do. Right. I'm going to message Sam. Send. I think it's good to just check in with people, see how they are, see how they're doing. Anyway, I'm going to go on a massive messaging spree. Classic, it's probably going to overwhelm me and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I don't want any friends now. That could easily happen. I'm going to message a few more of my friends and then I'll keep you updated on how that goes. I've just seen Underpants Man in the opposite block. Ugh. Today's humble activity is going to repot my other flatmates in my apartment. Hello guys. I'm sorry I've neglected you. This might be the wrong time of the year to do this, but there has been a really sunny spell in the UK and I'm hoping it won't shock you all. I am going to repot my plants whilst deep diving into the subject of loneliness. I think it's a really important topic to discuss, particularly in the digital age, and how we communicate with friends and family on your phone. But firstly, how do I tackle this? I'm going to start big and then go small. Right, start big, go small. Oh. Careful, careful. Can you still see me? Well, anyway, I'm going to tackle this one first. Shall I name them? I'm going to name them. Right, I'm going to name you Greta. Right, Greta, get into this bed. That sounds really bad. Get into this bin. That sounds even worse. Right, let's put you out. Oh, you can't see me. Well, I'll stand here. Maybe I should clear the place to make it easier for me. Right, let me clear that. Greta is gonna go in here. Just an FYI, Mr. Lawnmower Man is outside. I think he's on his lunch break, so he could come back any minute. If that happens, I might have to do a voiceover. This is gonna get messy. It already feels messy. What was I thinking? Right. Where are my marigolds? Marigolds. Let's do one first, then we can deep dive into the topic. One of the things is that I have been running on empty this year. Since losing my job and job hunting, it really did wipe me out. So I was running on empty. And what I mean by running on empty, I just didn't feel inspired to get out. And part of that journey involved a lot of my friends. A lot of my friends reached out during that time and still do. But because I was in such a low place, I just didn't feel like I could connect fully to people. And I think that is where the problem is, or the problem that I faced was that I just didn't have anything to talk to people about, or the only thing that I felt was going through my head was massive insecurity and self-doubt. And I didn't feel I could bring that to my friends. And it's silly because your friends are there no matter what. And they have been, except I pulled my way out of social situations, meetups, and catch-ups because of my own insecurities. I know we're at an age where self-worth and mentality is key. And if you don't feel like you want to be in a social situation, then I don't think you should force yourself into those if you don't feel up for it. But at the same time, that could also be quite challenging as well if you don't connect and you don't talk. It's only now that I've managed to get myself out of that rut and to embrace the outwardness of me. I still struggle with a lot of social occasions. I haven't been to many. Those insecurities lie with me. I'm holding myself back. I've put in like a third of the soil in here, and now I'm going to transfer you. Sorry, Greta. Greta's going to get a shock. Come on. Let's just loosen this. I want to discuss the challenges of communication in the digital age. If you're anything like me, you've probably got WhatsApp and you've got lots of group chats in there. And sometimes, in theory, they sound really great. A community that you've got to chat to, close friends, family groups, and everything in between. But there are times where I find the broadcast of messages quite difficult to go through. Like, I'm probably not the best at WhatsApp. I'm not the best at replying. And so when you're in these group chats, you just have a lot of like people talking, and that's good, right? But then often I don't join those group discussions because partly the conversation has moved on quite quickly, and then you're just like, how do I get into this conversation now? It's hard, isn't it? What am I doing? So I've muted a lot of those discussions, and yeah, another way of like just not being involved, which I think is normal, right? On top of that, I have had, just on a one-on-one, I have had friends who have reached out to me. And because I've been so low, I've just left conversations like hanging. I'll reply back and I'll say, yeah, let's catch up. Oh, it'll be so good. And then I just don't reply or don't set a date. And then it just kind of fizzles, doesn't it? It just fizzles out. I think you're good. Greta, you're in the way. Do any of you feel yourself in that situation? How do you cope with conversations if you're not naturally chatty? Surprisingly, I know I talk a lot on this channel, but I get social anxiety, especially when you're invited to group social occasions. You just clam up a little bit. But again, that's on me, right? I definitely am someone who prefers one-on-one. Like if we're in group situations, I probably, well, it's interesting because it's all about perspective as well. Like on group occasions, I feel like I don't talk as much, or I find it very hard to keep up conversations and to be part of conversations sometimes. But I think that's perspective, right? Your friends probably don't recognize that or don't see that. I don't know. So where I've got to is that I have messaged my friends and I'm concentrating on one-on-ones with them. I feel like that's a really good base to get me out of this shell of loneliness. For me, I still value my own time and living by myself, but I know that part of my journey is to reconnect to my friends. One of the things that I discovered this week already is that you don't need to have news to meet up with friends. You don't need to bring an update. You don't need to bring a status of what you're doing or who you are. We're all going through life together. And I think that's what I'm going to value now, is being silent with friends. I mean, of course you're not going to be silent, but I mean like in terms of kind of, you don't have to have news, you don't have to have things to talk about. But you'll find things to talk about, right? You just need to celebrate being together. All these constructs that you feel is the social currency to have a conversation. It's okay not to say anything. That's how I feel anyway. And that's what I'm learning now. I don't need to have an update. I don't need to talk about any of those things. I just need to be, or we just need to be. We just need to be together. We just need to be together. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I don't know if I'm talking any sense. I'm sorry, Greta. I keep prodding you. Right, I think Greta's done. Nice job, Greta. Enjoy your new home. I don't know if I did a good job. This one I'm going to be calling Bruce. Bruce Lee. And you're going to go into Greta's old bed. As I do Bruce now, I kind of want to discuss about my eureka moment when I found all my notes and messages that people had already sent me over the years, hidden away in a little cubby hole, but there for me to find. And I'm so glad that I found them, because it made me reflect back on my relationships with people. Go on, Brucey. Wiggle, wiggle. I mean, Bruce, you grew so much. When I bought Bruce, he was on like here. Sorry, my hand's behind Bruce, but he was about here. And my, oh my. Bruce might need to be cut out of here. There we go. So tight. You outgrew so quickly. Wonder how big you're going to get now. And what was I talking about? I was talking about physical messages versus digital messages. Because are they the same thing? I know I got value out of those physical messages that I found, but does it matter the actual format? Does the format matter? Is a message you get on WhatsApp the same as a message you get in a card? It definitely felt like the messages that I found had more of an impact on me. So maybe those physical messages, those physical things are really important, like cards. Maybe I should send more of those things out. Ooh, so tight. Gave up on my marigolds. Like, get my fingers green. Ooh, girthy. Brucey, done. I'll do one more in front of you guys. This one is my little baby. Look how beautiful. Leaves. This is a white wizard. Now I'm thinking I need like a wizardy name. I need a name that is a Lee, but like a wizard. I did think Christopher Lee because he was the warlock in, well, he was the bad wizard, wasn't he? He was like the bad wizard in Lord of the Rings. But I don't know if Christopher Lee is you. Let's think of wizardy names. Is there anything Harry Potter? Are there any Lees in Harry Potter? Cho Chang. She's not a Lee, but you can be a cousin. Cho Chang. Cho Chang. That was really good and therapeutic. I still got more to do. I won't bore you. I won't bore you with watching me do everything. So I'm going to crack on and I'll see you in a bit. Say bye, Cho. Bye. So just to recap the week, I feel like it's been a breakthrough in terms of connecting to my friends again. For me, it's so important to reconnect and to be engaged as well with my friends. And not just from my point of view in terms of making me feel better, in terms of making me feel more connected, but also just in terms of checking in on people and seeing if they're okay, or just seeing if they want to hang out and just being together. I think that's really important, and that there doesn't need to be a overarching pressure of updating people on your life. You don't always need to have a status update when you meet your friends. You really don't. And that's a breakthrough from me. Coming from a place where I thought that I don't have anything to say, I don't have anything to offer. But in reality is, you can just offer your being. You can just offer yourself just being there. So I've got messages back from real friends. I've reconnected to others as well, and I've arranged to meet people and to catch up. The easiest ones were just one-on-one catch-ups. They're really good, but I ended up organising a bigger get-together, and I'm typically not the person to arrange those things. There are people who are so good at organising social occasions for everybody. I typically am not that type of person, but I question, like, why can't I be? Why can't I just do it? What is stopping me? And I think it's weird because, like, you feel like, oh no, I'm not that type of person. But reality is, you can do it. It's easy. You just check in, see how they are, and then say, let's all meet up, and then you just start arranging. And I know I talk about these barriers that I have, but when you break them down, they're actually really simple. Simple successes, simple things that you can do. I think my main thing is to just be there with people that I care about and shake off all of the anxiety and nervousness and insecurity of not having anything to say, or not being able to present a better self. I think that's where I get to, is that there's so much insecurity that I have put on myself that has really affected the way that I communicate with people. And I'm just like, that's all in my head. I think shifting my mentality about a catch up, thinking that I had to deliver something, that I had to have something to catch up on, I've just shaken it off now. Just thought, just be there, just be there. So that's one thing that I feel is a real big breakthrough. And I'm getting myself into a better place with my friends. The other thing that I'm doing now is actually, it's my brother's birthday, and usually I would just message him on my phone and just go, happy birthday, have a great one. Me and my brother don't have that relationship where we would send each other messages and cards. But this year I'm changing it up, and I've got him this little funny thing. Oh, it's upside down. There we go. It's got googly eyes. It's for my brother. This is not him at all. He is not a googly person, but it's going to be a way for us to kind of reconnect. After finding all of those messages and cards, I feel like there's so much value in such a simple thing. So I'm going to write this card. I'm not going to write a massive essay in here. I think that's a little bit too much. But I will wish him a happy birthday. Thanks for being the greatest big brother. Do I put love? It's my brother, whatever. Love. Francis X. I've never told him that. I've never told him how great he is. And he is. What? I'm such a wet lettuce. I can't cry on camera all the time. I cried at Encanto. I cry at everything. I cry at everything. Encanto, when they take the photograph, tears everywhere. Anyway, he's been so good with advice after I left my job. That's what I'm going to write. I'm going to send this now. And I need to go quickly because his birthday's tomorrow, and I want to make the last post. And hopefully he can find this one day and make him smile. God, I am a mess. Right, I'm gonna go to the post office. Let's go. Airplane.